Welcome to Math with Professor V. I have a new video series for you, and it's based on a very unique textbook written by one of my colleagues. The book is entitled Bridging the Gap from Precalculus to Calculus. Now, it's technically a Calculus 1 course, but with a twist. We revisit key precalculus concepts through the lens of calculus itself. So rather than assuming mastery of precalc before we begin, this book integrates both subjects to build a deeper, more connected understanding. I'm starting with the section on limits for this video lecture series, but we'll reinforce earlier algebra and precalc ideas along the way, and then I'll probably go back and record all the beginning algebra basics as well. Okay, so to kick things off, we're starting with lesson 2.1 from chapter 2 on limits, and we're just going to go over the definition of a limit. Now, a very powerful tool in calculus that we're going to study are limits. To begin with, they allow us to study how a function behaves near some value, x equals a, and not just the function's value, f of a, at that point. So let's begin our discussion by looking at this example here. It says use the graph to approximate the function values and complete the table. So the graph here that's given is of some function y equals f of x. And we need to fill in all of the function values, or all of basically the y values, based on the graph. And we're just approximating, so don't stress if you have to kind of eyeball some of the values, all right? So let's start off. When x is 1, what is f of 1? So basically you're going to come over to the graph. When x is 1, that happens right here. What is f of 1? What is the function's value right there? Looks to me like it's 2. Okay, when x is 2, what is the function's value? Well, this is 1. So it looks like it's a wee bit less than 1. Let me say 0.9. When x is 2.5, it looks like it's a little smaller. So let's say 0.8. Now when x is 2.9, it got a little bigger, but it's still smaller than 1. Let's say 0.9. Okay, now here's when things get interesting. When x is 3, what is the function's value? Well, it's not 1, because you see how there's an open circle right there? There's also an open circle here and a closed circle here. The function's value is where the closed circle is. That's what it's actually equal to. So when x is 3, the y value, the function's value is 3. Very good. Very good. Okay, continuing on. When x is 3.1, so 3.1, say right about there, the function's value is all the way up here now, just a wee bit less than 4. So let's say 3.9. And then when x is 3.5, a little smaller, maybe 3.8. When x is 4, 3.7, 3.6, something like that. And then when x is 5, what does that look like? 2.7? We're just approximating, so don't stress, okay? Now here's the important part I want you to get from this example. In the graph, we have that f of 3 is equal to 3, yes? That means the function's value is equal to 3 when x is 3. But notice nearby this point, nothing on the graph is close to it. Nothing is close to 3. None of the function outputs near 3 are close to 3. And we saw that, 0.9, 0.8, 0.9, then it jumps to 3. And then these aren't even that close to 3. They're closer to 4. And you can observe that if you just look. Oh my goodness, there's all this jumping. There's all this space, right? Okay, so now let's put some notation, some terminology to describe what's going on. And we do that using a limit, okay? We say that the limit as x approaches a, and do you see this little baby minus sign here? Okay, when you read it out loud, you say the limit as x approaches a from the left of f of x equals L. That's the left-handed limit because we're approaching x from numbers on its left side, from numbers that are smaller than a. So notice, say we're interested in 3, say a is 3, all of these numbers are from the left of 3. Now, the limit as x approaches a, you see this little plus sign. When you read it out loud, you say x approaches a from the right of f of x equals L. That's the right-handed limit since we are approaching x from numbers on its right side. Okay, so referring to the example up above, we can say the following. The limit as x approaches 3 from the left of f of x is equal to, well, let's look at the graph here. Here's where x equals 3. As we're approaching from the left, what function value or what y value is the graph approaching? It's approaching 1. Then, if we're coming on the other side, the limit as x approaches 3 from the right of f of x, so now we're coming from values larger than 3. What function value, what y value are they approaching? 4. 4. Okay, so always remember the limit is the y value that the graph or the function is approaching, okay? Here, x is approaching a. X is approaching a. Good? Now, in this particular situation, when the limit from the left hand and the right hand do not match, then the double-sided limit does not exist, and we write the following. We say the limit as x approaches 3 of f of x dne. We love abbreviating in math. We're not going to write out does not exist if we don't have to. Now this is the double-sided limit because notice we didn't say from which side we're approaching. So basically the idea is this. If you're not specifying from the left or from the right, in order for this to exist, they better be the same. If they don't, then we say it does not exist. And that gets into the very next important fact. You can add it to your notes. In fact, the limit as x approaches a from the left of f of x equals L, which also equals the limit as x approaches a from the right of f of x. That's the only way for the limit as x approaches a of f of x equaling L to exist, okay? So the limit from the left must equal the limit from the right in order for the two-sided limit to exist. Okay, let's look at another example. This time, I'm going to actually give you the equation for the function. We can put the graph together ourselves, and then we'll complete the table as well. All right? So we're going to work with f of x equals x squared plus 2 near x equals 2. Let's just complete the table first, and then we can put the graph together. So let's see. If x is 0, I'm just going to substitute it in for x here. 0 squared plus 2, that's going to give me 2. 1 squared plus 2 is 3. 1.5 squared plus 2 is 4.25. Then we have 5.61, 6, 6.41, 8.25, 11, and 18. Okay, I'm interested near x equals 2. So I'm really going to try to do a nice job plotting all those points. The rest, let's see. So I'll scale by 2s because things got pretty large pretty quickly, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then we'll do, we can spread this out if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Why not? -1. I didn't plug in any negatives, but we're good. Okay, so we've got 0, 2, 1, 3, 1.5, 4.25, 1.9, 5.61, and then 2 is 6, 2.5 is 8.25, 3 is 11. Okay, that's way out there. I'll just draw this much. That sounds good. That sounds good. And then we know it keeps going, but right now they told me we're interested in all the values near x equals 2. So just here in this portion, we're really just going to focus on this piece here. Okay. So referring to the example above, we can say the limit, practice reading it out loud with me, the limit as x approaches 2 from the left of f of x equals, okay, so here's how you're going to imagine it. We're interested in what's going on near x equals 2. So pretend you're walking on the graph. You can draw your little stick man. And you're heading towards x equals 2. The limit is the y value, that little stick figure, the little man is approaching as he gets closer and closer to x equals 2. Where is he on the graph? What's the function value? What's the y value? It looks like he's getting close to 6. Okay, what about from the other side? What's the limit as x approaches 2 from the right? So now put your little stick figure over here. Where's he going? Oh, he's going to 6 as well. Oh, they're going to meet up. They're going to have a very lovely coffee date or something. Who knows? But they're going to find each other. So this is exciting because in situations like the one right here, where the right and left-sided limit of a function agree at a given point, we can just say, well, then the limit as x approaches 2 of x squared plus 2 is 6. Since the limit from the left and the right are the same, then we can say the two-sided limit is also equal. Wonderful. Now, in this case, the value of the function at x equals 2 and the value of the limit of f of x as x approaches 2 were the same. This isn't always true, and we're going to investigate more examples involving this idea later. And in the next section, we're going to learn some shortcuts. That way you don't have to make a table or use a graph. But up until that point, this is going to be our strategy right now. This is just the intro. So we're just going to either make a table or use a graph to evaluate limits, okay? Don't worry, you won't be doing it this way forever, but for now, yes. So I've got a couple more examples for you. Evaluate the limit as x approaches 3 of x squared minus 9 over x minus 3. Well, notice here, they're asking for the two-sided limit. But I need to evaluate the limit from both sides first before determining an answer, meaning I need to figure out what's the limit as x approaches 3 from the left, and then x approaches 3 from the right, and then from there we'll be able to answer the question about the two-sided limit. So I've already set up a table for you. Why don't you go ahead, pause the video, fill it in, and compute all of the function values. Just use the calculator. You don't need to graph this. When x is 3.1, 3.01, 3.0001, these are all from the right of 3 because they're larger than 3. And then these are all from the left of 3. So these are from the right, these are from the left, okay? Good, pause the video. All right, I hope you paused it. So check your work. You should get 6.1, 6.01, 6.0001, and then 5.9, 5.99, 5.9999. Good. Now, I think with this table, we have enough to answer the questions. What does it look like the limit of the function? What are the y values approaching as x approaches 3 from the left? So 3 from the left are from values smaller than 3. It looks like they're getting closer and closer to 6. Very good. And then what about from the other side? As x approaches 3 from the right, what are the function values? What are the y values approaching? 6 again. Very good. So therefore, the two-sided limit as x approaches 3 of x squared minus 9 over x minus 3 equals 6 as well, because the limit from the left equals the limit from the right. Good? Okay, I've got one more for you. This time, I'm going to give you a pretty funky graph. State the value of the given quantity if it exists, and if it does not exist, explain why. Okay, so here's the graph again of y equals f of x. First, we're asked for the limit as x approaches negative 3 from the left of f of x. So if it helps you, put your little stick figure on there. We're approaching x equals negative 3. Where's that? That's right here. From the left, so from values smaller. So the little man is working on the graph here. What's the function value, or what's the y value he's approaching? Coming through right here, what does that look like? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's at y equals 4. So the limit as x approaches negative 3 from the left of f of x is 4. Okay, what about from the other side, negative 3 from the right? So now we're walking on the graph from this side. Where are we going? What y value are we approaching? We're approaching 4. Okay, perfect. So then what can we say about, this is the two-sided limit. As x approaches negative 3, see how we didn't say from which side? So then you look back at part A and B. From the left and from the right, we were approaching 4 both times. Beautiful. That means this is going to be 4 as well. Okay, now what is the actual function value? What's the value on the graph when x is negative 3? Oh me, oh my. Do you see how there is an open circle? That means there is no function value. It's not defined. So we say it doesn't equal anything. Why are you putting an equal sign? It's undefined. Okay, very good. How was that part? We're all right? Okay, now the limit as x approaches 0 from the left. Okay, so here's x equals 0. We're coming from the left. So I'm walking on the graph right here. Where are we going? What's the y value we're approaching? 1, right? Okay. What's the limit as x approaches 0 from the right? So this is from the right of 0. You're walking on the graph on this side. The limit is going to be the y value you're approaching. Where are you going? You're going to y equals, or f of x equals -1. That's where you're heading. You're heading that way. Okay, so what's the two-sided limit then? As x approaches 0 of f of x. These guys are not going to meet up. The limit from the left does not equal the limit from the right. 1 does not equal -1. So this does not exist. You shouldn't put an equal sign. Nope. Does not exist. It doesn't equal anything. Oh, I know. These two are not going to meet up for coffee. Okay, what about f of 0? What is the actual function value at 0? Well, you're going to look, where is it actually filled in? Because that's the function value. Not at the open circle at -1. Here, the closed circle. That's the function value. So f of 0 equals 1. Good? Okay, cool. What is the limit as x approaches 2 of f of x? Well, they didn't ask for left side or right side, so we have to do that on our own. We're going to have to do a little extra work. So we're going to have to figure out what's the limit as x approaches 2 from the right. So when they ask for a two-sided limit, and if they don't hold your hand and ask you for the one-sided from each side first, you have to remember to do it. Okay, see how nice they were? They asked for the left, the right before the two-sided. The left, the right before the two-sided. Now they said, oh, fend for yourselves. But it's okay, we got it. Okay, so x equals 2 from the right. Here's x equals 2. We're coming from the right. Coming in hot. Whee! Where is that? That's y equals 2. What about from the other side? Okay, same thing. 2. So then the limit as x approaches 2 of f of x is 2. Now, what is f of 2? What is the actual function value there? Oh no, another open circle. So it's not defined. It doesn't equal anything. Just put undefined. Okay, good. So that concludes the lesson. So just remember, while you're in 2.1, either graphs or make a table. We'll come up with more slick, efficient ways of evaluating the limit very shortly, so stay tuned. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and you can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Math with Professor V, for more content and behind the scenes peeks into my life and whatnot. All right, thank you guys so much for your support. I'll be back